The music provided for this episode of the Tom Retro Chronicle is brought to you by Number Knot with their song called I Miss You Returned. Check out more Podsafe music. Check out dig.ccmixter.org. A 1, a 2, a 3, 4, 5. It is the Tom Retro Chronicle with your host called Tom Retro.
Looking good, baby!
Tom Retro is also known as the Retro Guy and has a very interesting angle on things like sports, music, movies, books, and pretty much mostly life. He has a WordPress account, a very funny Twitter account, and overall a very interesting guy. Yeah. And also has very interesting interviews like me, Arnold Schwarzenegger, yeah. So let's head it to our very own very special host called Tom Retro. And welcome to the Tom Retro Chronicle, And it is episode 7 of the Tom Retro Chronicle. Boy, it's starting to get quite popular. If I'm already at episode 7, I have more. This episode is number 7, and I have more episodes than Star Wars. So, up yours, Star Wars. Haha. Okay. I am taping this on a very, very beautiful and sunny Thursday, November morning on the day of my birthday. And I am currently, as of right now, 23 years old. I will be turning 24 today. So far, the feeling of being a year older hasn't hit me quite yet, and I will give you the reason why in a little bit. Got a only have a couple of topics that I kind of want to talk about for this episode, and it's pretty much the same deal with. I'm going to talk about NFL Week 11 picks, which is something I usually do every Wednesday, Thursday. And then I'm going to pretty much share to you all a little bit about myself, a little bit about some facts about my birthday and what happened during that day in terms of history. And based about the whole history of my birthday so far. So let's get started with Week 11 picks. Shaping up to be pretty busy day today, so let's begin. So there are only about 6 weeks left in the NFL season, and it is pretty much that time of the week again for football. So tonight, that there's actually a football game on. Yes, there is a football game on tonight. You have the Miami Dolphins going to Buffalo, and which could be pretty interesting. It could be a decent matchup. Buffalo has been a little bit better than I thought they would be so far this season. The Dolphins have improved quite a bit. So here are my picks. I am going to take the Dolphins in this matchup, based on the fact that road teams have done better on Thursday night football, and that the home team hasn't really done all that well. So I am going to go on a whim and say that the Dolphins will win this one. On to the Sunday matchups. You have Jacksonville at Houston. I'm going to take Houston, based on the fact that the Texans are favored by, I think they're favored by 13.5 in this one. I think so. So I'm going to take the Texans in this one. The Jaguars aren't that good, so I could probably pick. Actually, I think the Alabama Crimson Tide could beat the Jaguars, I think, on a whim. Then you have Cleveland going to Dallas, which looks like a very lopsided matchup in terms of talent-wise on skill positions, but I think this one will be a little bit more closer than a lot of people think it will be. Vegas has them at 7.5. The Cowboys are favored by 7.5. I'm going to take the Cowboys in this one. Browns so far have been kind of a decent story in this one. On to another game. Arizona at Atlanta. Atlanta has been very good so far this season, and especially at home. So I am going to take the Falcons in this one. Pretty easy matchup to choose. Philadelphia at Washington. I'm going to take Washington in this one, based on the fact that even if Michael Vick isn't exactly ready for this one, I think Robert Griffin III will have a run for his money in this one. I think he'll have a good day in this one. Tampa Bay at Carolina. I'm going to take the Buccaneers in this one. I do like the Buccaneers offense quite a bit. I like Doug Martin. I like Josh Freeman in this matchup. I didn't pick the Buccaneers to win this matchup in the first time in Week 1, and I think I will learn my lesson in this matchup. So, okay. Green Bay at Detroit, and I'm going to take the Packers, of course, because the Packers are my team. And everything will depend on whether if both Jordy Nelson or Greg Jennings will play in this game. And even though that Clay Matthews and Charles Woodson are still banged up, I'm going to still take the Packers in this one. I think the Lions are kind of a good team at this point, but I wouldn't exactly hold my breath on them too much. Another game. The Jets are going to the Rams, and I don't know. This matchup looks pretty awful. The Rams are favored by 3.5. I don't think the Rams will win this game, so I'm going to take the Jets in this one because the Jets are pretty much awful against good teams. The Rams are kind of a decent team, but they're kind of more below average, so I'm going to take the Jets in this one. New Orleans at Oakland. Basically, the whole summing up for this one is basically 2 words. Drew Brees. That's all. That's all I have to say for that one. Obviously, I'm going to pick the Saints. Cincinnati at Kansas City. I will say this much for the Chiefs. Last week was quite a bit of a confidence booster for the Chiefs. I think they will try to find a way to win this game, but I think the Bengals have too much talent to not lose this game. Marvin Lewis will have them ready to win. One of the more intriguing matchups of the week, Indianapolis at New England. And the Patriots-Colts rivalry will take on a new chapter as Andrew Luck gets to face off against the game's best quarterback at the moment in Tom Brady. The Colts are a huge surprise this season. I'm going to stay on the bandwagon and say that the Colts will win this game. San Diego at Denver. I'm going to take Denver in this one, even though I would normally pick the Chargers to win. Peyton Manning has played pretty good so far this season, and he will continue to play good, even though Denver has one of the most easiest schedules the rest of the way. Baltimore and Pittsburgh, and I'm going to take the Ravens. I do feel bad for Ben Roethlisberger. I hope he gets well. My thoughts and prayers go out to him and his family, hoping that he has a speedy recovery. But I am going to still take the Ravens in this one, even though the Ben Roethlisberger factor will be very much missed in this one. So the Monday night matchup is the Bears at San Francisco, and this matchup actually looks pretty decent on paper. I don't know. It features two of the best defensive teams in the NFC, and I do like the 49ers to win this one. If Alex Smith comes back to the 49ers and play for this game, I think that alone will give the 49ers a great chance to win this game. So that's pretty much it for Week 11 picks. I hopefully will see you all next week for Week 12 picks, and on to the next topic. You didn't think I was going to split out on you, did ya? Ha, gotcha. Alright. So today is my birthday, which is the Ides of November. The Ides of November. Beware of the Ides of November. In terms of historical events that happened on my birthday, certainly quite a few of them were from the Civil War. A lot of them were American events. In terms of Civil War in 1864, William Tecumseh Sherman burns down Atlanta and begins his march to the sea, which would pretty much spell the end for the Confederates in the Civil War. Another noteworthy event that happened was the Articles of Confederation, which was currently at that time the U.S. Constitution at that time, and essentially it was pretty much one of the most worthless pieces of legislation in terms of government that the United States had. To be fair, it was made in 1777, and pretty much once the U.S. Won the American Revolution, basically the whole Articles of Confederation was kind of pretty much a weak piece of legislation, and thus really began the talks of building what would later become the U.S. Constitution, which still stands to this day. And I still look pretty high on this one, on this day. Trying to think of something else. There were a lot of baseball players that were named on my birthday. Trying to think of someone, but definitely around this time, a lot of baseball awards were given out. In terms of movies, um, Space Jam, Space Jam came out on my birthday, and I still remember that day. I didn't go to Space Jam, the midnight premiere, based on the fact that I was more interested in being at home. I did eventually go see Space Jam, and as any '90s kid, I loved Michael Jordan. I just loved watching him play. Still do, I suppose, but okay. Some notable birthdays that happened on my birthday. Petula Clark, who is a famous singer in the '60s, was born on my birthday. Which she holds a very special place in my heart. She does. I mean, Scorpios have to look out for each other, you know. Okay. In terms of one also noteworthy event that happened on my birthday, what would later become Comedy Central, the Comedy Channel, was launched on my birthday. So next time that you watch a show on the Comedy Central, hey, think about me, okay? All right. Let's see. Trying to think what else I should mention. In terms of my favorite birthday, I look at all of them. I look at all 23, 24 birthdays as the best. But if you really force the question on me, I would have to go with my 15th birthday, which was my golden birthday, and that happened in 2003. And essentially, golden birthdays are those birthdays that you have to treasure because it only happens once in your lifetime, and it's pretty cool. In terms of my birthday itself, I was born on at the time of 11:27 p.m., which, when you really think about it, I was about 33 minutes away from being born on another day in time. November 16th. Boy, that was... I was pretty lucky to... I like to think that my favorite number is 15. My lucky number, I suppose, is 15. Trying to think what else. Oh, I suppose I could probably mention what I'm gonna do for my birthday. In terms of my birthday, after taping this podcast and uploading it on YouTube, I'm gonna be going out to Applebee's for lunch with my mom. So that should be pretty fun. After that, I'm gonna go to MSUM, my alma mater. I haven't been to it since last month. And then after that, I'm gonna go to Fargo North High, which is my old high school, which I haven't visited since March of 2008, which is over 4 years ago. So I think definitely a visit is pretty much due at this point in time. And then after that, I'm gonna go back to my apartment for a little rest and relaxation, and then I'm gonna call my aunt who lives in the Northeast. So it should be pretty much a fun time talking to her. she's definitely quite my favorite relative. If you wanted to ask me that question, and then after that, I am gonna go to the Moorhead B-Dubs, or Moorhead Buffalo Wild Wings, for some beer wings. So it should be pretty much a fun day. I can't wait to can't wait for it to start. So, in terms of another next podcast, episode 8, expect that to happen on Tuesday. And in terms of next Thursday is Thanksgiving. So I will definitely do podcasts hopefully on that day. So I will see you all on Tuesday, next Tuesday, as probably both the NFL recap and kind of a birthday recap. So I will see you all next week. Thank you for listening to the podcast. Adios.